Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be solving the questions of Unit 3, which is making requests and responding to them. After looking at this class, we will be able to solve the exercise portion of this unit. Let's begin. Let's begin the chapter by reading an interview with Dr. Imran Ansari, a senior pediatrician and associate professor at Patan Academy of Health Sciences, Patan Hospital, Lalitpur. Reporter: The term bird flu is heard quite frequently these days. Could you please tell us what exactly bird flu is, Doctor? Dr. Imran: Bird flu is the commonly used term for avian influenza, which is a viral infection transmitted from bird to bird. Particularly, a deadly strain of bird flu H5N1 continues to spread among poultry in different parts of Asia and Europe. Reporter: What exactly is H5N1? Would you mind telling us how it affects humans? Dr. Imran: Not at all. Technically, H5N1 is a highly pathogenic avian influenza virus. It's as deadly as to most birds as to humans and other animals to catch the virus from birds. Although the virus is not easily transmitted in the same ways as most human flu bugs, H5N1 has killed nearly 60% of those infected since the first human case in late 90s. It is seen transmitted among people like butchers and poultry farm workers who have been exceptionally close contact with the infected poultry. Besides, no effective medicine has so far been discovered. Reporter: The spread of this flu seems to be so fast as if it transferred by air. I wonder if you could tell us how it spreads so fast. Dr. Imran: Yes, certainly. Actually, the flu virus is not transmitted through respiration. Most notably, the natural carriers of bird flu virus are migratory waterfowls like the wild ducks. The infection can later spread from wild fowls to domestic ones. During 2011, the disease got widely spread in Asia. Nepal too could not remain away from its dark shadow, as its carriers are the birds that may fly hundreds of miles in a single day. Reporter: Could you possibly tell us how humans get bird flu, Doctor? Dr. Imran: As I told you earlier, humans catch the flu by close contact with birds or bird droppings. Some have been reported to have caught the virus from cleaning or plucking infected birds. Let me make it clear this way. Think of a person with an open wound or cut on their hand, handles the infected poultry. He or she can get infected by the virus that gets in his blood through the wound or cut. Others have been infected after swimming or bathing in water contaminated with the droppings of infected birds. People don't catch the virus from eating fully cooked chicken or eggs. So far, there hasn't been sustained type of human-to-human spread causes. Reporter: I see. Would you possibly let us know the common symptoms of the flu in humans, Doctor? Dr. Imran: Good question. Since the commonly seen symptoms of influenza are similar to those of seasonal influenza, people seem to be rather suspicious and worried. Fever, cough, sore throat, and muscle aches are the major symptoms, yet sometimes there could be a diarrhea, eye infection, or even serious respiratory diseases. If these symptoms persist for longer than expected, people need to consult a doctor. Reporter: Finally, I'd appreciate it if you could tell us what precautions we should take against this fatal pandemic. Dr. Imran: Sure, we should wash hands thoroughly and frequently for 15 to 20 seconds with soap and water. Contact with possibly infected poultry ought to be avoided. If exposed, appropriate personal protective equipment like disposable gloves, protective clothing, shoes that can be disinfected, and safety goggles should be strictly used. Reporter: Thank you indeed, Doctor, for your time. Dr. Imran: Thank you, Mr. Joshi. We just read an interview that was taken at Patan Hospital, Lalitpur on 24th of March 2015. Now let's go to the exercises. The first exercise is to enrich our vocabulary. We need to find what do these words used in the text mean. So the first word is frequently. The options for frequently are often, regularly, or occasionally. Frequently means often. The best word for frequently is often. Frequently means almost regularly. So we can say it's often. The second word is deadly. The options are related to death or likely to cause death. And the last option is as of dead ones. The virus is deadly. That means it's likely to cause death. People can die. Hence, the best option is B, likely to cause death. The third question is migratory, and the options are having the habit of migration. So in the text, we have Dr. Imran saying that most notably, the natural carriers of bird flu viruses are migratory. So it means they have the habit of migration. They move from one place to another. So the first option is the answer for the question. Migratory means having the habit of migration. The next question is plucking. The options are picking, pulling the feathers off, or picking someone from danger. In the text, we have some have been reported to have caught the virus from cleaning or plucking infected birds. So plucking here can mean picking because you're lifting a bird and you can get infected by that activity. Dropping, and the options are things dropped, solid waste matters of birds, falling off something. In the text, we have others have been infected after swimming or bathing in water contaminated with droppings of infected birds, which means droppings is a solid waste matter of birds. Hence, the second option fits the best for dropping. And finally, the last word is pandemic. And the options are disease that spreads over whole area, or disease that causes pain, or a disease that is regularly found in an area. Pandemic means disease that spreads over a whole area. Next, we have read and match. We need to match the expressions under column A with those under column B so that they exactly match the ideas as expressed in the interview we just read. We have H5N1 as the first option, and under B, we go searching for the best continuation for H5N1. So H5N1 is one of the precautions against influenza. It's not true because H5N1 is a highly pathogenic avian influenza virus. So we move forward. Is available for the flu. No, it's not correct. Again, is one of the symptoms of bird flu. H5N1 is not a symptom. H5N1 is a strain of virus. H5N1 is not a strain of virus, but it's actually a name given for the avian influenza virus. So we exactly have the same option here in the last option of column B. So we match H5N1 with is the common name of avian influenza under column B. The second option is bird flu. Bird flu is not one of the precautions against influenza. Neither it matches with is available for the flu. Bird flu is not one of the symptoms of bird flu, of course. So bird flu is definitely a strain of virus. So let's match bird flu with a strain of virus. No effective medicine is one of the precautions against influenza. This sentence does not make a correct sense. No effective medicine is available for the flu. This is true and it makes a very good sense. So let's match it. Fever is one of the precautions against influenza. Fever must be a symptom, and we exactly have the same option is one of the symptoms of bird flu. So fever is definitely one of the symptoms of bird flu. And finally, avoiding uncooked poultry is one of the precautions against influenza. So this perfectly matches with each other. Now moving forward, we go towards stating whether the statement is true or false. Bird flu is not as lethal to humans as to birds. This is not true because even humans die of bird flu, and this is false. In the statement, we clearly have that it's as that in the statement, a reply of Dr. Imran to the reporter says that it's as deadly to most birds as to humans and other mammals that catch the virus from birds. So bird flu is as lethal to humans as to birds. Nearly 60% of deaths have been caused due to bird flu. Because of bird flu, we cannot say that nearly 60% of people have died due to bird flu, but 60% of those who are infected are killed by bird flu. Hence, this statement is false. Moving, during 2011, Nepal had only shadows of infected flying birds. This is true because we have the text. During 2011, the disease got widely spread in Asia, and Nepal too could not remain away from its dark shadow as its carriers are the birds that may fly hundreds of miles in a single day. In 2011, birds flew hundreds of miles in a single day carrying the bird flu virus. So this statement is true. Moving forward, consumption of well-cooked poultry does not transmit H5N1 virus to humans. This is true. The text says people don't catch the virus from eating fully cooked chicken or eggs. So this statement seems to be true. All kinds of fever blended with sore throat are not the symptoms of bird flu. This is also true because these symptoms are common for seasonal influenza as well. And finally, PPE, as mentioned in the interview, should be used while consuming poultry. So this statement is also half true because PPE, as mentioned in the interview, shouldn't be used only while consuming poultry, but also when you are in contact with it. So not only while consuming poultry, by being in contact with any poultry, PPE must be used. So this is false. Now finally, we go towards read and answer. The first question is, what is bird flu? When was it first detected among humans? So the answer is in the first paragraph, where Dr. Imran says bird flu is the commonly used term for avian influenza, which is a viral infection transmitted from bird to bird. And from the text, we can find out it was first detected among humans in the late 90s. So let's write it down. Who are most prone to get bird flu virus according to the doctor? So the answer is, according to the doctor, the most prone to get bird flu virus are people like butchers and poultry farm workers who have had exceptionally close contact with the infected poultry. Mention any two possible ways human can get infected by avian influenza. We begin our answer by writing the possible ways humans can get infected by avian influenza are, first is by humans catching the flu by close contact with infected poultry or bird droppings. Humans catching the flu by close contact with infected poultry or bird droppings, cleaning or plucking the infected birds. So these are the two ways humans can get avian influenza. The fourth question is, what are some of the indications that one is infected with the bird flu? And the answer is, some of the indications are fever, cough, sore throat, and muscle aches. Also, diarrhea, eye infections, and respiratory diseases can be seen in some cases. This is all for today's class. The homework is to answer, read the text again, and answer which of the precautions as mentioned by the doctor do you usually adopt? Why? So the precautions given by doctor was washing hands thoroughly and frequently for 15 to 20 seconds, or contact with possibly infected poultry must be avoided. And if by any chance you are exposed to personal protective equipment like disposable gloves, protective clothing, shoes that can be disinfected, and safety goggles should strictly be used. So among these precautions, which precaution do you usually adopt and why? So you can say, I wash my hands thoroughly and frequently because that's one of the healthy habits that I have learned. Also, I avoid any kind of contact with poultry, be it infected or not infected, to avoid myself from bird flu virus. You can write these kind of answers. This is an opinion question, and that is the reason I'm leaving you with this homework. So this is all for today's class. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or anything that you wish to share with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.